I never believed in ghosts. Even after hearing dozens of stories from others, I used to laugh and say, there's always an explanation. Electricity, wind, imagination. That was before 2016, before I took the night shift at the old government hospital outside Paranormal. The hospital had been shut down for 5 years. No doctors, no patients, just broken windows, rusted beds, and silence that felt heavy. They said my job was simple: guard the place at night, make sure no one steals the metal equipment or the generator. I needed money, so I said yes. The first night felt strange. The building looked alive under the moonlight, like it was breathing. Every corridor was full of shadows that stretched and twisted. Still, I told myself, it's just an old building, nothing more. Around 2 a.m., while doing rounds, I heard something faint, like footsteps, slow and dragging. But when I turned my flashlight down the corridor, there was no one, just the sound of ceiling water dripping, echoing endlessly. Then I noticed one thing. The corridor light at the end kept flickering, even though the main power was cut. That didn't make sense. The next morning, while having tea outside, the day guard told me quietly, "Don't go to the basement ward. That's where it all started." When I asked what he meant, he just looked at me and said, "They locked someone down there and never opened the door again." That night, curiosity got the better of me. I took my flashlight and went down the narrow basement steps. It smelled like rust, chemicals, and something else. Something rotten. I saw old wheelchairs, broken stretchers, and then a door at the far end covered in chains. The metal was black with age, but the chains rattled slightly, as if someone had just moved them. I thought it was rats or air pressure, but when I leaned close, I swear I heard someone breathing from inside. I left quickly and locked the basement gate behind me. That night, I couldn't sleep at all. A few days later, while cleaning the guard room, I found an old notebook under a drawer. The pages were yellowed. On the first page was a name, Rena, written in neat handwriting. She was a nurse, probably worked there before it shut down. Most pages were full of normal hospital notes, medicines, patient names. But the last few pages were different. The writing was hurried, messy. "He doesn't sleep anymore. He keeps walking the hallway, even after they locked him in. Last night, he looked at me through the glass. But there's no glass anymore." The last entry was dated April 7th, 2011. No signature. Just one line underlined twice. "He said when the power goes out, don't look in the mirrors." Those words haunted me. On the fourth night, the power did go out. Complete blackout. Only my flashlight worked. The silence was so deep I could hear my own heartbeat. Then from the far end of the corridor came a woman's voice. Soft, distant. She was crying. I followed the sound to Ward 5, where most of the windows were boarded up. The crying stopped the moment I entered. The room was empty, but when I turned to leave, I heard a whisper right behind me. "Don't look in the mirrors." My flashlight flickered. For a second, the beam hit a wall mirror, cracked and dirty, and in that reflection, I saw myself. But I wasn't standing still. My reflection was moving, slowly turning its head toward me, while I stood frozen. I dropped the flashlight. When I picked it up again, the mirror was shattered, but I didn't remember touching it. After that night, strange things kept happening. The elevator would move even when the power was off. Doors that I locked before rounds would be wide open when I returned, and sometimes the intercom, disconnected long ago, would make a static noise, followed by a faint whisper. "Come downstairs." I tried to quit. I told my supervisor that I wasn't feeling well, that I couldn't work nights anymore. He said, "Finish this week, then we'll see." So I stayed. On my final night, I decided to record everything. I had an old CCTV system working off a generator. I set up one camera facing the basement stairs. At 2:17 a.m., the monitor showed something. A shadow moving near the chain door. It looked like a person, but not quite. Too thin, too tall, and the way it moved, like it was swaying underwater. I thought maybe the lens was glitching, but then I noticed something horrifying. My flashlight beam appeared on the screen. I was sitting in the control room, yet the camera showed my light moving in the basement. Someone else was walking there, with my flashlight. I ran downstairs. The door to the basement was open. The chains lay broken on the floor. Cold air poured out, colder than anything I've ever felt. The smell was unbearable. Blood, iron, and something dead. I wanted to run, but I heard a sound, a slow breathing, right next to my ear. Then, nothing. When I opened my eyes, it was morning. The sun was out. I was lying outside the hospital gate. My flashlight was beside me. I quit that day and never went back. 2 weeks later, police reopened the place after a report from locals. They had seen lights inside the hospital at night again. They found my CCTV system still running, but every file was corrupted except one. That file shows me sitting in the guardroom, looking at the monitor, and then walking toward the basement. After that, the video loops endlessly. 3 seconds of me turning my head toward the camera, again and again and again. They said the timestamp on that footage never changed. 3:11 a.m., forever repeating. Sometimes when I try to sleep, I still hear that breathing, slow, heavy, right behind me, and every mirror I pass seems to delay by just half a second.